Welcome back, everybody. I forgot to take it down again. Mostly because I've been fighting what I hope is only allergies and not a cold or something. My throat's been bothering me. My sinuses have been... Well, the sinuses are really what's causing the throat problems, realistically, I think. Yeah, we got some Monster of the Week action, chat. Got some Monster of the Week. We'll see how many games we get through and stuff. Nobody really reported any highlights this week, mostly because I posted it kind of late after, instead of like immediately following the event, I got to it later. And as a result, I imagine a number of the competitors that are strewn throughout the globe went to bed. That's the bottom line. I'm pretty sure they just went to sleep because it's a long day for them. But it is a weekend, so I hope everybody's weekend out there is going well. If you're living in the future, you probably already got the Sunday Scaries as we lead into Monday. Although by the time this goes live on YouTube, it will be about the same time. You might be living in the future and ready for the Sunday Scaries again. I don't know. But chat, before we get into everything, I of course have to let everybody know I am part of the content affiliate program. That means the Phobies team does in fact give me coffee for producing Phobies content. They also provide the prizes for Monster of the Week. What is that? Well, besides the fact we're going to be covering it, it is our weekly tournament series where you can get coffee literally just for participating. It's a tournament. Everything's set to level 1. Hit up the Discord, link in the description for information about how and when to join. Now, beyond that, another housekeeping item, I did post a poll in my Discord. I've had people periodically ask me about, can or will I run tournaments that are restricted in some sense along the lines of like stress level or rank or something like that. Realistically, I think stress level is probably the way we're going to have to do it, which I don't like. It's come up on many occasions before. We're digressing a little bit, but you'll understand why. The current matchmaking system pairs you based on your ranking. Whatever your ranking is, that's how it tries to initially find, and obviously as time goes on, it expands parameters and then opens it up. But the idea is you play someone regardless of stress level that is close to you in skill based on the points. There's a lot of issues going on there that we could unpack, but that's for another discussion. How that influences the tournament scene, at least from my perspective, is that, well, if I'm going to be limiting things by stress level, you could have somebody who is like just not good, but has a very high stress level versus somebody who is very good, but has a low stress level. And if the goal of the tournament is to restrict it to people who are not as good at the game, which is realistically what a lot of people are asking for, even though they phrase it in the terms of, I want to prevent the people who are sum of all fears from playing, or not that they want people, but like they openly say, oh, well, I'm getting my ass beat by so-and-so who is sum of all fears, or something like that. Now, you could argue about tournament integrity and finding the best player and stuff like that, but there are a lot of inherent advantages to running something like this. And I don't dislike the idea. The problem is, what is the appropriate criteria? The problem with rank is there's no way to look at previous rank and say, okay, what did you finish at the end of last season, other than somebody screenshotting it, I guess. Which, trust me, it will become a nightmare. The other option is stress level. And even then you run into problems where, okay, well, somebody has a low stress level, but they have Frosty, or they have Hevo 3.0, as compared to the person who's a low stress level and has nada. So it's something I'm considering. I'm open to feedback. I put a poll up in my Discord about it. We'll see how things go. But that's enough digression for now. We're going to jump in, switching scenes here to try and hide a little bit of what's happening. We're going to go with... probably go that path. So that means we'll do, I guess, here. So I'm not sure. I was told that a lot of the games are very good. I did not see what they were. We're just going to run through them. We'll kind of mix up A and B together so people don't, if you're already spoiled on what the results are, you won't be too spoiled. I just got to find the games here. This is... Oh, wow. That's a fast game. All right, so we're jumping in here. We've got Never Forever. We're looking at Alistair versus Dama. That is the wrong... Why is it doing that? Hold on a second, chat. Why is it doing that? Did I put the wrong scene? Let me test something real quick. We're going to lose sound as we're doing this. Interesting. Okay, so why is that happening? So we're watching Haffy, because, you know, that should not be. Don't stop with the Haffy. Stop with the Haffy. This is very interesting. I don't understand why my ops is doing that. I wonder how long it's been doing that and I didn't notice. I wonder how long it's been doing that. Dude, what is happening in this game? I look away for like 30 seconds so I could check something, and we have double Haffies? Why? Why? I'm telling you right now. Stop doing this. Just stop. Dude, I am sweating to death. It is 53% humidity here right now. And I don't have the fans on. I'm sacrificing my body for this stream because I might dehydrate to death. I don't know if you can tell how shiny my head is beyond normal. But... Alright, so we're maxing out here. This is already a mistake from Dama. I don't know why we're maxing out with this team. I don't know offhand what Alistair has access to, but, like... I don't know why they're maxing out here. I assume that... Haffy is dead? Alright, I don't love the Klepto here. So, I think this was a counter mistake by Alistair, and the reason I say that is... What? What is happening right now? Dude, what is... How does this game end in 2 turns? So, what I was getting at is, like, Dama has banked up. They've maxed out, so they can't put anything else on the board. So, Alistair should have put something that, like, tries to win the game right now on the board. Klepto is solid, but not great. Both players committed to this Haffy, which is just doo-doo. So here's the problem. We're going to get the kill here on Stabby, but Dama has access to 12 keys, and, like... There's a lot of things that can happen right out of the vault right now, so what is it going to be? Apparently the game ends this turn, so I have to imagine whatever comes out just does 1 billion damage. Oh, you can still have 9 keys because you had 12. What? What happened in this game? I'm legitimately confused. Now, I'll be honest. I feel as though... No, honestly, like... Did Dama, like, disconnect or something? Who actually won this game? Dama must have disconnected or something, I guess, because Spectre won. Spectre is Alistair. Alright, we'll find another game, because I don't know what the hell happened there. Like, that was weird. That was a really weird game, and I don't understand what really occurred there. Somebody will have to explain that one to me. Where is... Today's the... Oh, the 21st. Alright, I scrolled back too far. Scroll back too far. What the fuck? Okay. Chat, we're looking at a weird one tonight, apparently. We're looking at a weird one tonight, apparently. Alright, we'll look at this one. Alright, chat, I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening here. Oh, I got a ping in a different Discord. So this is Dear H versus Kuro. We're here on Another One Bites of Dust. I was going to say Always Watching, but that's not true. That's not, in fact, accurate. So this is one of the newer maps. I've been trying to force... So, as always, I am doing custom map pools. It's only 4 maps out of the available ones. We don't have any influence or control over what the devs select, so we kind of have to just go with what we got. This map sucks. I've heard the opposite, and that's why I've been forcing it. I want to see... Does it actually suck? Because I'm fine with removing it from the pool if it turns out that it's problematic, but I want to know, is there truthfully an issue, or is it just people are uncomfortable? Because it has come up before that and this logically makes sense, I explained it before. In competitive settings, people are going to try and lean into what they are comfortable with because they know it. They'd rather not take risks because they're ill-prepared. So if people aren't ready for this map, I could absolutely see why they dislike it, but we'll see in this case. We got 3, 4, 5 to 1 panic point advantage. Still 1 panic point to be claimed, but I imagine this Henrietta dies, and the question is, where does the Bachelor go? Yeah, that's an early puff, and all the advantages right now are in our orange players' court. Early Muffin. It's kind of necessary because that... I'm not really sure what the Slammerhead's doing to begin with. Counter Puff, alright. Alright, so we take the cheap shot on the Stabby and then back off with Benny. Little Rusty action. I like the Rusty Puff combo. Rusty Puff makes a lot of sense and can definitely set up some cool things, or at least threaten some cool things. Odds are it won't ever happen, but it does influence your opponent, and that's the... What you won't necessarily see in the replays is because the other player is going to try and react. Alright, we're going in on Puff. I mean, Slammerhead does have a lot of health. It's entirely possible it dies here, though. That's double Puff hits, a Tickles hit, possibly a Snowball. Kuro desperately trying to make Ash work. Alright, Dear H not willing to try and go for the Blom here, which I kind of get. The Rusty on the Ash, is that premature? I'm not sure. It might be okay. Dude, my sinuses are awful. I don't know if this is allergies or what. Boop. Down goes Tickles. Bwah. We are... Okay, we're taking down the Stabby, which is a big deal, because Benny obviously healing up a little bit. We cooked the Innocuous. Gonna get the long-range bomb. Yeah, we're cooking the Benny. You can't really invade for the Benny, so what are we... We're killing Slammerhead here? Ooh, I don't like this from Dear H. Like, this doesn't seem worth... You're gonna lose the Innocuous. I guess this Ash is also gonna be sacrificed as well. There's really nothing Kuro can do, because I don't think Rusty wears off yet. Yep. Key-wise, I think our orange player's in the lead. Why with these halfies? I swear, people do it just to troll me. The ash pole is hilarious, though. But it's just going to die to the kaboom. Like, that's pointless, is it not? Okay, hold on. It is possible to clear out the halfie and then send in the kaboom and get the ash. Meant to play Boomer instead of K9, and Benny shouldn't have been there. I don't know if the Benny positioning matters, but we'll see how this goes. Oh, we're going for the K9. This has more health than Boomer, so I don't know that this was worse. Does the Benny positioning matter because of where the spider ends up? It does. Okay. Yeah, that definitely matters, because if the spider ended up where Benny is, they don't kill it. That's a... Yikes. That's a big yikes. Am I the only person that doesn't like Benny's attack animation? It feels anemic. Alright, Kuro not out of it. I don't know if I love corn here. I guess it's alright. Benny's mostly safe. We could get a Bad Omen invade on the Hematic, but I don't know if that gets you anywhere as our orange player. Okay, so we do get an invade on Benny, but we're going to trade Benny for Snowball, probably? Is there a way to do this without losing something immediately? Possibly not. You could just roll up like a Spud or something to kill the Snowball. But DRH is building the army, building the beachhead here, as it were. Oh, alright, that'll do it. A lot of pressure. Oh, a lot of pressure on Kuro's heart. I didn't even notice that until now, because no panic points have really traded. Making a little popcorn. Sacrificial Maggie. $1,600 health. One, two, three, four, five, six. Do you just not... Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2. It's possible you just die here, right? With the power down Hematic, this is rough. Although, there is a sick Blom here. Is Blom available? Dude, is Blom available? The game does not end this turn. Oh my god! Get cooked! Get cooked! That was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. All 4 Phobies lined up. I don't know if DRH missed that, or they felt like, alright, well, this is my only out. You know, like, I gotta go for it. Whoa. That was a pretty solid finish. I'm not gonna lie, Kuro. I don't... What is it that you dislike about the map? Because I can understand if people don't like the map. Like, that's fine. But I want to know why. Because there was nothing in particular about that game that felt as though it was... How do I put this? I don't think there was anything in that game that showed me that it was problematic. It may be problematic if, like, you don't have certain phobies. Where's this game? Where is this game? God, finding this stuff in people's profiles is so frustrating. Ooh, this could be very interesting. Alright, so we're going back to Never Forever. Once again, Alistair, and once again, Dear H. We'll see what they got for us. I personally don't like it, not that it's bad. That's fair. That's fair. Like, you can't argue with taste, right? If you don't like something, you don't like something, and that's allowed. What I have found over time, and this isn't necessarily like a specifically Phobies thing. That's a very early Maggie. But I have found in a variety of different games that the things that I dislike are commonly the things I am best at. And I don't think it's necessarily because of anything really deep or meaningful. The reason is because I tend to hate it, so therefore I focus more when I am forced to engage with it. So like if I don't like a map, for example, I tend to play better on it because it's like I am more consciously involved in what's happening. I don't know if anybody else suffers from that disorder. I don't know what to call it. I don't love Alistair's movement with the unicorn up top. Repeller coming out. Dear H with 4 Phobies on the board, but there is a boom, so realistically only 3 Phobies. You could always pop it whenever you want to. I'm curious what people's thoughts are on this map now. I put it into the pool because it's, you know, one of the newer ones, not the newest, but it's a newish map. And I don't know if I think it's healthy or not. Is this a dead corn? This is just a dead corn, right? For free? So the only thing here is, can Alistair somehow get the Innocuous? Never mind, we have a boomer. Dear H, thinking of everything. Maxing out on Phobies technically, but again, boom. This is the only sort of thing where I will accept an early boom play. And you can't tell me that people are doing this. People are absolutely just putting boom on the board like, oh, it's a 1 key. It doesn't matter. It's going to die. But it does matter because it influences the plays your opponent can make. Because if they only need 1 hit to remove a 1 key, that is significantly different than requiring 2 or 2 Phobies or something like that. Because their positioning changes. This, however, is reasonable because if you're going to max out early like this, Dear H at least still gave themselves the opportunity to pop the boom and then free up keys if required. Now, one of the reasons why I was kind of excited when I pulled this game up was the Attractor MVP that shows up, as well as a Sparky MVP. Spoilers. You'll have to wait and see who takes the whole thing down. You may already know. Mostly because Microscopic was just put on the board. Why did Microscopic come out? You now have 3 1-movers on the board. Oh my god. Ouchtown. Population U, bro. Even the Honey Bear to prevent the movement. For a second, I thought the Innocuous moved. I'm like, how did that work? 6 keys available for our orange player. Only 3 truly available. I don't even know if you can kill the Stabby with this number of keys. Or the Sparky, rather. That is not the... Oh, no. How does this game go on for 6 more turns? I don't hate this. I'm sure a lot of people are already screaming like, oh my god, why didn't you kill the attractor, whatever, but longer cooldown now. But also, the electric cat is now right on top of it. It can't go anywhere. So what are they going to do? Apparently they're going to focus down the cat. I mean, you're going to get the Sparky there, but the attractor's dead, no matter what. Deer H still has 3 keys left. The Honey Bear is close to immortal because it's going to take the Stabby 1,000 hits to kill it. Just like that, a 4-to-1 panic point advantage. Down goes Unicorn, but I think down goes Alistair's hopes as well. Quite possibly their dreams. I don't know. That might be extreme. Cassowary and a 1-key are going to be the final Phobies. AWOL, why not? You have multiple options to end this game. Apparently we're going the hard route. Down goes the heart. The toe fungus did it. Don't put toes on your heart. That's weird. It's probably gonna hurt. GG. Yeah, as always, I never want to... We're not trying to beat up anybody who lost. Even when they're the bad guy in viewer games. But, like, I didn't really like any of the sequencing from Alistair in that game. I didn't love any of that. Questionable at best. Let's see if we can get... Whoa. What is happening? How am I missing these? Are they all favorited? It was favorited. Okay, that's why. I'm so used to people not favoriting their games that I miss when people do favorite it. So we're here looking at Oliver versus Kuro on... This is not coin to me, right? It's Dearly Departed. Is this map even in the pool? Hold on. Hold on. Is this from this week? This is from today. Last Rites. I was very confused on the name for a second. That's why I was like second guessing myself. So this is yet another map that's one of the new-ish ones, and I might be stretching it with this one. We're coming up on the next Halloween update pretty soon. We should, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, by the time this video goes live, we probably will have our first teaser. Or at least we'll be, like, there's no way that they're not going to announce something in the next week or two, right? We're almost into October at this point. Jammy Fish out of Kuro. And we only saw one meme machine phobia in the last Kuro game. We'll see how memey Kuro gets, because Kuro does like to experiment a little bit. Would Jammy Fish have been too good if it applied a Henrietta level poison? Maybe not, like, for the length of time, but, like, a minor poison. It's literally a jellyfish. Like, I feel like poison is part of it, right? Technically. Yeah, they're venomous, right? Not poisonous? Got a teaser already, a Cactus on Fire Wild West theme. Did we really? When was that posted? I completely missed that. Alright, Koro going full meme here. Or, say 80% meme. Got a boggart. So here's the weird thing. If it's going to be a Wild West theme for the next Halloween update, like, okay, you could do costumes or something, it's Wild West or whatever. Personally, I picture, like, a bunch of mechanicals, but we need undeads, because, like, this is the undead update sort of thing. So, are we going to get a bunch of undead cowboys? Ice Cream, huh? Leaning into the one movers here with Benny and Ice Cream. Get a Shove Shark and a Hevo. I don't understand the Gargles. I mean, the Gargles could pin down this spot in front of Boggart here to do a pseudo heebie-jeebie special. The problem is, you're out of position to do that. You can't reach that spot with Gargles safely right now. So what is this Gargles setting up? Or is it supposed to be set up as aggressive so you heebie-jeebie special them in? I guess. I don't know. That doesn't seem great either. Alright, we get the pick on the 1 key, but we're evening out panic points here. The odd panic point out is this center one. I think I'm going to have to go to an actual barber and get my beard cut properly, because I think I messed it up when I was shaving. I can let it grow out for a couple weeks. Little Sasquatch, not Sasquatch, Skinwalker action. A little less memey here. A little less memey with the Skinwalker. Frosty, huh? That is kind of an answer to a Skinwalker that's enraged, right? Let him cook. Oh, I don't know about that positioning, though. What are we freezing? What was that? You froze the corn? So, I don't love this positioning, because okay, hold on. I gotta talk about this. We'll see how this turn plays out, but, like, you can freeze literally these 3 phobies. You can, as Oliver, spread out to avoid the Boggart Bomb. The Benny positioning means that maybe you are... yeah, you're threatening this, because the combination of Boss and Benny will mean a dead Frosty. Can they... like, if you double Spud, Hevo, walk here, is that enough to kill the Benny? We'll have to see how this plays out, because I don't want to go through all the math, but, like, this turn seems odd. Oh, really? Oh, I don't love that. I can't believe it required that many hits. Oh, I don't love this response. This is not a good response. There had to have been a better turn there. There had to have been a better turn there. I feel like you can set up that freeze. Now, the boss would have been able to You're Fired and thaw multiple things, but I would have liked to have seen the boss go to the top to, like, be in position to do regular attacks instead of You're Fired. And there's the Ash. Burrow assembling the meme team. Yeah, our orange player's kind of all in on this, I almost said Ray Chargels, but this Frosty. Oh, no. What? All right. So we do get the freeze here. I don't know what that Tickles is doing. These Phobies are melee. So hold on. If the Tickles is supposed to be... I don't know. I feel like the Gargles should have been on this obstacle. The one just below the... like, to the right of the Shove Shark. Just below the Gargles. Because if it's there, you can get 2 hits. Like, if you were doing this freeze, there's no way for them to... I don't know. Personally, I'm reading a lot of panic in some of these moves. That Frosty is not long for this world. And with that, I'm pretty sure Oliver is not long for this world. Or for this game, at the very least. Imagine if things like Skinwalker didn't wear off while they were frozen. Like, the cooldown... Like, what if when you were frozen, your cooldowns didn't recharge, and your abilities didn't run out? The cooldowns not recharging could be an interesting buff for freeze. Alright, so the Ash did have an interesting play here. Notably, because of the Honey Bear, the boss will not get diseased, but the Ash pulled the boss into position in order to allow for the defrost. I think the way Koro played this Boggart is way better than we've seen people use Boggart, including Koro prior to this. And by that, I mean... a lot of the Boggart set, and it was only 2 bombs, but the way the Boggart has played out this game is it's just simply 1,000 damage. Now, it's going to get more here. But it's just a damage dealer. It's like, here, whenever I'm in range, I'm going to put this on you, and you're going to take 1,000 damage, and there's nothing you can do about it. As compared to what I've seen with a lot of Boggarts, where I think people are trying to set up, like, some crazy wombo play where it's like, oh, well, I just bomb your whole team, and like that's just not gonna work. I think this guy's better off as just an incremental damage dealer. Yikes. And it has like these spikes of damage where the cooldown's down, your opponent must respect the potential damage output. I think that's a much more reasonable usage of Boggart. The issue with that is, are you not just better off with, like, Mother Load? I guess it would depend on what's on the board. Like, the single target 1,000 damage maybe is better than the threat of Mother Load's big AoE or something like that. I'd have to think about that more. Either way, GG. Alright, chat, hold on. I'm actually gonna... give me 1 second, chat. Alright, chat, sorry about that. I want to blow my nose, and I wanted to, get a throat lozenge. Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is allergies, and it's kicking my ass right now. So, I mentioned this earlier in Discord as I'm getting the bracket up so I can get the next game. I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space again today. I haven't watched it in probably like 30 years. Like, legitimately 30 years. Probably 30 years. Somewhere, maybe 25. Somewhere in there. And that movie is dumb. Like, capital D dumb. But it's funny. Like, it's especially now looking back on it, I could absolutely see why at the time the movie maybe didn't perform well. But it was entertaining at the very least. It was entertaining. It was very silly. I was just telling my wife as I was getting everything in the break. Some of the things that happened is just like, it is a very 80s movie for like a huge number of reasons, but it did make me want to go back and play the game. It made me want to go back and play the game again, so, which I've been wanting to do, but I've been playing Space Marine a lot. All right, chat. Getting back in there. This time, Shinra versus Oliver. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Somebody's pinging me in Discord about Phobies. Oh, Koro did. Yeah, a cactus phobie would be kind of cool. It's obviously a fire-based phobie. I've mentioned this on many a stream. I've mentioned this on many occasions in the content affiliate channel in Discord. That the content affiliates or the official first party, I don't care, somebody should be doing preview season. We should know, like, we should have already gotten that short teaser a week ago. Probably, like, last week. And then do, like, a profile on each phobie leading up to the release. You don't have to give us the exact numbers, but, like, give us the abilities with redacted numbers or something. And then do, like, fun stuff. You don't even have to show us gameplay. Like, what is... Since we know that there's a Phobies universe, right? They have a police department, for God's sake. Like, they did the whole Vendy search, and they have apartments and stuff like that. Apparently, they watch TV shows on Dial. Tell us what this Phobies life is like in Phobieland. You know, like, all kinds of fluff stuff. I think that would be fun. I think a lot of people would be excited by it. And it's a detachment, or it's removed from... What I think Phobies is a very hardcore game. Like, Phobies is a very demanding game. It's chess. Chess is a very difficult game to both get good at and then be good at. Because even if you're, like, the best chess player you know, you probably still suck. You could be the best chess player in a fairly large geographical area and still suck comparatively. And I think Phobies is the same way. The best players in the game are not that good compared to, like, the best of the best. Like, the gap between... You are way closer to somebody in Sum of All Fears 2 than, like, somebody who's consistently Sum of All Fears 3 is to somebody in Sum of All Fears 2. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get where, like, what I'm trying to point out. So I think, bringing it back to the update, that if the Phobies team were to put more emphasis on the less stressful parts of the game, like the cool Phobies universe and stuff, which people are constantly asking about, I think that... You have to forgive the throat lozenge rattling around in my teeth. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be fun, and they could do that leading up to each release. It's extra strain on the team. It's extra work that has to be done. And I don't know how much it would correlate directly to sales. But I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool. As compared to this game, which features yet another Temptress, because people want to troll me. Should we make a troll phobie list of things that, like... Ooh, this is a good play, though. Ooh, getting that snipe on Shinra. Losing the Innocuous. You are going to get a Diseased Tooth Fairy out of it. You're obviously losing the Temptress. Removing the Innocuous from the board, though, as an asset from your opponent's army is crucial, especially since you can set up your own, as we're seeing there. So maybe the Dive Bomb Temptress plan isn't terrible. I was about to say, you're not going to fireball this, are you? Wait, what? Ooh, alright. How much health does this have? 5. 7 keys for 4 so far. 7 keys for 4 so far. It looked like a cool play for Oliver, but maybe it didn't quite work out. Maybe it didn't work out. I'm gonna end up like accidentally drooling this thing out of my mouth. It's gonna be weird to do on stream. Oh, counter Gonzo action. We haven't gotten anything like really out of the ordinary outside of the Temptress. And Haffy. You know, a counterpoint to my discussion earlier about the previews is, given the way the Phobies economy works, you could end up upsetting people because it's like, oh, how excited am I about all these things? Because we have this big build-up until they're released, and then you get none of them. Which I don't know if that, like, that probably happens anyway, because you get the teasers and then, you know, you have the same problems with the economy. I wonder if that factors in at all. Like, I mean, I'm sure they care, but like... Uh-oh, that's a Hevo 3.0. And there is still a Gonzo on the board. And our orange player does not, in fact, have enough things in position to push that. 5 keys remaining, 3 7s, maxed out on Phobies, too. Just imagine if this Haffy was not on the board and you had 7 keys available to immediately use. Would you be in a significantly better spot? Probably not. But you would absolutely be in a better spot. What has this Haffy done? I don't think this analysis occurs for most players. Either while they're playing, absolutely not while they're playing for most players. Most players, even more beyond that, well, I guess less, but people will go back and go, was this Phobie good, was this Phobie bad? At a very high level. But I think drilling down into, like, and I'm not picking on Oliver here, but like, does anybody go back and look at, I put Haffy on the board on like turn 9 or turn 10, and that caused me to lose the game on turn 27. Or if it didn't cause me to lose the game, it was a significant problem. That doesn't kill the Inoculus. Oh, can you get this with the Klep? No, you can't. Okay, you can shove this. That works. Yep. Because I was going to say, if you don't remove one of those, you may actually lose the Hevo on the retaliation. You could end up losing the Hevo on the retaliation anyway due to the spider pulling it into a position, but unlikely. I mean, Haffy does do 500 damage there. So the Evo does go down, but look at the position our orange player's left in. This is where effective trades are so important, where, okay, great. Not only did I kill something, I'll gift you the 9 keys, because I'm going to annihilate everything else on return. Also, this Minotaur is going to put in work, which we've seen in a few of the games we watched earlier. Minotaur doing very well. Shove Shark on body block duty. Admittedly, this team is going to get thinned out. Because now this probably kills the corn. And I don't think Gonzo's back yet, but we should have Fireball up. We're going to get an AoE hit from both Klepto and the Minotaur. Or actually, just the Klepto, rather. Or the Minotaur, what am I saying? And that's pretty much all she wrote. As it was. Like, the Evo turn, the Evo attack turn was... You could immediately see it was over. I'm still blaming this on Haffy. I don't... In my heart of hearts, I have to admit it may not be on Haffy, but... I'm going to put it on Haffy. This is my stream, and I get to do what I want. Haffy. Haffy got MVP. Is there anywhere in-game that it says most valuable Phobie? I like to believe the MVP is most valuable Phobie. Yeah, Chad, I don't know about that one. Oh, we did get a... I was about to say somebody put a highlight in there, but they didn't. They put their name in the wrong channel. They put their name in the wrong channel. Yeah, we'll do this one. The hell is it? There it is. Just had to double check we were looking at the right game. We got Shinra, we got Potenzia. We got Never Forever. Let's see what we got here, chat. I don't know, do you think we should do Space Marine tonight, or should we do some Killer Clowns? A little variety action. We had a little variety last night. We're doing our tabletop streams on Fridays. My wife was playing some Neopets with me, Neopets TCG. I do enjoy that game. I've kind of hit the point where I can enjoy most card games. Just whether they're good, bad, or otherwise. I think Neopets is pretty good. I dislike the dice mechanic vehemently, but I don't even think that's the largest issue with the game. Honestly, I think there's other problems with the game, but it is what it is. Alright, looking at some turrets and 1 keys here, banking up to 6 and 5 respectively, banking up to 8 and 6 respectively. Banking. Respectfully. Banking up to 9, we got a Steve's. How is Potenzia going to respond here? Already a Tickle's on the board. Honey Bear. I don't like Honey Bear here. So I think Honey Bear is acceptable as an anti-trap tool. If you are, like, set up and ready to push, you want to be able to puke on the ground and then immediately start taking advantage. And we're not in that position right now. I also really don't like this. I don't think you can go Bow, Attractor, Honey Bear. Your team is so slow. And now we got Shinra setting up a Blondie. Shove Shark will, of course, probably hit the board next turn. With the 1 keys, even if you eliminate the cat, you can swap the Henrietta back in, maintain the panic point advantage, and slowly, relentlessly march your Blondie into the teeth of their team to power them all off. And, like, what are you going to do? You're gonna pull the Blondie with the Attractor? That is not a play you want to make. I guess there's a world in which you could do it, because you have 8 keys. If you can get it close enough to the vault, maybe you can electric it to death. Electrocute it to death? I don't know. I don't know if this muffin was necessary. It's going to take 1,000 years to kill this honey bear. Notably, no shove shark yet. Wait, why are we doing that? Oh, we're avoiding the blondie. The blondie can still hit the bow and the attractor, though. I don't know about this. We need a flying boop. We need a flying boop so that you can fly over these obstacles and set up. Although I guess it wouldn't really matter too much in this scenario, but it just made me think of it. At this point, I'm not going to lie, I don't know what the hell Potenzia does here. I guess you're going to puke this turn so that you can turn off some presumed traps, but, like... Yeah, I think this is Potenzia, like, surrendering. This is a effective surrender. I feel this was a build order loss. And I've talked about this before, and it's been a while since we have, but essentially, the phobies that Potenzia chose were just getting hard countered. The thing is it isn't quite a build order loss, because that implies that, like, you were doing this thing and had no opportunity to react to your opponent. Like, you decided pre-game, I'm going to do XYZ, and if they don't answer me, they lose. If they do answer me, I lose. Except, you saw what your opponent was doing the whole time. Like, I don't know about this one, but GG. GG. Let's see. I don't know what this person's in-game name is. So we're going to have to do it through the other player's profile. But that's also going to present an issue. It must be this one. Ooh, yikes. Well, we got a quick one here on Another One Bites the Dust. We might be able to do one more game after this. 12-turn game. There's a differential between the stress levels. It's a fairly significant, one might say. I love the way Gravedigger just screams when it does that. That Cassory's not dead, is it? Yeah, I think it only does 640, because I think Tickles is 220, and then it's 220, or 420 rather, from the Snowball. And Cassory has 650. I think I said all the wrong numbers there, but the point is it'll live with like 10 health. That Bachelor, however, not for this world. Puff coming down, and I do wonder, is Puff... Puff is like a really strong phobie. It just does so many things so well. Is it necessary on this map? I'm not sure. You know, one thing that I hadn't talked about earlier when I was discussing the idea of these gated tournaments, as in by stress level, by rank, whatever. How will maps work? Because, especially when you talk limited collections like that, it's entirely possible that things are worse for those players if somebody has something because they lucked into it. Like, imagine the Once lore. Probably not that I would ever include that. Thankfully, it hasn't shown up in a rotation in a very long time. But say the once lore. One player has an attractor. The other player has just literally no pulls. Is that even a game? I mean, there's one way to find out. But I wonder how many maps are like that. That's a play you can make. I don't love that play, but it's a play you can make. That's a lot of blue panic points and not very many orange ones, I have to admit. So you're going to be able to connect the creep with the crush more, eliminate the contortio, get the bachelor on there, possibly get a blom. But you probably just cook this. Doesn't kill it, though. Alright, so we're going to kill the Gravedigger, I guess, which makes sense. Send the cat in. Bachelor to the panic point. Alright, we're going to flip this panic point instead. That seems fine. And the pressure's on. You can see why this game ends in 12 turns. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 panic points. 1,400 damage. It's a pretty quick map. Pretty quick game. Pretty quick. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say about this one. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Don't even need... Yeah, like... There is quite obviously a collection gap here. And this is the sort of thing... It won't be as egregious if we were to gate things, but... There is still a level of it where, like... Okay, somebody happened to open an ultra rare. It becomes problematic when you start setting up a huge amount of restrictions because it gets very complex for players that are impacted by it. So how do you actually tell somebody... Because there's no way to enforce it in-game to say, hey, you can't use these. Because it would be cool if there was a way we could set up frenemies such that we wouldn't have to gate anybody out of it, but we could say, hey, you can't use any phobies that are stress level beyond X, and then you can pre-select the phobies you want to use. So it's like, okay, we can ahead of time limit the phobies that are viable, and the game can enforce it. Otherwise, you run into these problems where people accidentally put phobies on the board, and it's an issue, but GG. Well, that was all the games we're going to look at for this week. As mentioned at the beginning, if you're interested in playing in a weekly tournament series where all the phobies are set to level 1, you can get some coffee out of it. Hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. The link, of course, is in the description of this video. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.